Okay, we're going to go over how to take the measurements to make a pillow cover that looks like this, that has an open back. There's no zipper or clasp or anything like that. Uh, it's just totally an overlapping piece of fabric there. And then here's an example of what it looks like on a pillow, right? It's just, again, two pieces of fabric that overlap on the back and one piece of fabric on the front. So this is three pieces of fabric that you're going to use. And you can pick any kind of fabric that you want. I have here an example of something I'm making with fabric that I got from my Mood Fabrics mystery dead stock box. And this is a really cool material. It's Diane von Furstenberg limited edition. It's like a special collection that you can't buy anymore. That's the fun of getting a dead stock mystery fabric boxes. You get little treasures like this. This is a big treasure. So I've used this already to upholster the seat on an antique bench that I have. So I'm going to do the pillow that goes with the bench in a matching fabric. So that's kind of the first thing to consider when you're making one of these is what kind of fabric are you going to use, and does it go with your decor that you have already or the room or what you're trying to accomplish. And you want to choose something that's like a little bit heavier. This is a really good example of something, but the one I just showed you is also a heavier fabric, a thicker, and something that I like to pick fabrics that are maybe a little bit luxurious or a little more unusual in some way than just like your basic fabric you would see around. So this is what we're going to use for this pillow right here. And the key thing to remember with these fabric covers is that the front is just one piece and the back is two pieces that have the same measurements on one side as the front piece, and then um, the total of the back pieces overlaps. It makes it long enough that it overlaps. So I'll show you here really briefly. This is a good example. And even if you don't, even if at first try it doesn't overlap as much as you want to, you can always, before you sew it together, you can always check it and be like, that's not long enough. And you can add a piece of fabric to make it longer. So you can see I did that here. So again, front piece, this is 17 inches, right? So this is the front piece. It's a rectangle shape. And I do it based on the pillow. You measure the pillow first. Just take your tape measure, measure the pillow. And we're going to measure this one that we have here. And so we have our fabric picked out. And now we're going to be like, see from the middle of the seam of the pillow to the other side. Okay, so it's like roughly 26.5 inches across. And then you measure same thing, but this way, and you're looking at like 18 inches. So 18 by 26.5. And you just note that down. I don't have a pen here, but you note that down and then increase the size, the measurements slightly to make room for the, fact that it's going to be, once you put it on the pillow, it's going to be like something's going to be filling up this. So you don't want to have it be the exact same measurements as the pillow. You want it like, I recommend a couple of inches at least in each direction. You have to kind of test it out and see what works for you. But this is like a very forgiving, easy process. So now that I know the measurements of my pillow, I'm going to go ahead and cut the fabric out and just lay it out. And I'll show you how easy it is once you've done that to sew it together. It's just a few more steps. It takes like 20 minutes if you're focused. Okay, so I'll show you that in the next video.